Okay, now I'm live. I think I got it. 20 seconds. 20-second delay. Wow. Alright, I got 5 viewers. Everyone's here. Everybody's here. That's 5. That's all 5. Oh, 4. Nice. I'm not worrying today about who's watching. Whoa, that's not a nice sound. I don't like that. Sorry, folks. Something more chill. How about that? Something more chill. Let's see here. This playlist is called I'm High and I'm Chillin'. That sounds good. It's not. It's made by J2 Wavy. Let's see. It's got Chance the Rapper. All right. This is the kind of stuff that YouTube will pull down for sure. No. Copyright. Copyright mess.
Take off my shoes, stripped acid in the rain. On my jacket is a cape, and my umbrella as a cane. The richest.
Bet I won't get nabbed for the chill hop stuff, I bet. Just chill up every time. No, you're good. Got 3 people on the stream. Who are you? I bet you're on something where you can't chat. And you can't tell me. Maybe you just don't want to. It's cool too. Let me tell you, I had a really anxious day. Morning. I'd say through like most of this. Does this sound crappy? Anyway. Like most of this I've been pretty calm. It's kind of been like a snow day. I've been drinking a lot of beer. Because we've been not working either. We just haven't had work. SNL is off. Didn't book anything else for this time, so we're kind of not working anyway. But then we're also not leaving the house. We're stocking up and acting like crazy people. So anyway, it's been kind of fine through most of it. But then yesterday and today, I woken up with my dog just barking and barking, and my dog's a beagle, so he just is very, very loud. It's like a siren. Like you can't think about anything else when he's barking, and it's honestly the worst way to start the day. And it's just both times launched me into like intense anxiety. Well, I'm getting a lot of lag on the iPad. It's not matching up with I'm watching it draw right now, even after I drew that line. I guess it don't really matter. Figure out these stream issues later. I think it's probably this fancy background I got going with the trees. I think what I should have done is press that video, press the heck out of it before I used it. I kind of just I took the raw video file and I'm playing that. Ooh, my iPad's hot. My iPad's hot. Doesn't like doing this. Let me make sure I'm closing apps. Please no porn, please no porn. No porn, no personal things. Here, actually, you know what? Closing apps on the iPad. Not sure if that does anything, but I'm doing it. Oh my god, all of the apps are open. Every single app. There should just be a close all apps button. Ridiculous. Okay. Alrighty. So much lag. Turn off the trees. If that helps. No, still lagging. Still lagging. Turn that off. Yep. Alrighty, recording, so I don't need to do a time lapse. I'm not doing it. Okay, that's it. That's what did it. No time lapse recording while I'm streaming. Learned something today. This is a very old playlist that was originally burned to a CD. I used to drive around listening to this one on a CD. My 2002 Saturn. I don't even make Saturns anymore. That car got totaled. It's my first car. That is not one of my security questions, so don't even try. Say that. It's all gonna stop. Everybody's chill out there. I'm keeping it pretty chill. Oh my. Just drawing these little fancy things here. Pretty boring. I think it's interesting the stuff that we consider entertainment that used to be just boring. Like we watch people play video games, like other people play them. We watch these ASMR videos, you know, just people like just being as quiet and relaxing as possible, just like tapping things or slime. I mean, can you imagine all that stuff would have been just the most boring, unwatchable content in the past? You'd turn that. If you went on public access and you saw that, you wouldn't even hate watch it. You wouldn't even watch it for fun. You would just pass on by like, what? This is too boring. I need more television. So like I think, while everything is definitely moving like 1,000 times too fast, I think that's why we have content like this relaxing, just hang out and chill kind of stuff. Need some kind of background here. See if I can bring it back now that the streaming. Yeah, it slows it down a little bit. Yeah, that's slows it down quite a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't like that. Well, it's clouds were not so bad yesterday. these are too big. I bet. But I know what I can do. I can fix some stuff, folks. I can fix it. I'm gonna fix it right now. Make this nice tree background. Yeah. We're gonna encode it. Oh yeah. So Ben just said the chat isn't working. Unable to connect to chat. Okay. Fucking YouTube, I'm not super happy about it. Asking my computer to do a lot right now. It doesn't like it. Hey, now the chat's working. Yeah. Let's try this. Smaller video file now. See if this works. Hey, bud. I'm thinking about setting up a Discord channel. That way, people could call in. You could voice chat into the stream. Then you gotta download Discord for that. But it's probably what I'll do. I'll probably handle the chat over that in the future. But what am I doing here? Let's see. Doesn't like this. Might be a mcG64 here. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, Mark just asked what I'm drawing. Hey Mark, thanks for joining. Working on this comic. It is called, it's called Fresh Tales from Beyond the Pale. Fresh Tales from Beyond the Pale. It's about, well, it's all pretty surreal. It's 3 short stories, and oh yeah, no, the trees are lagging. Trees are lagging everything. Can't have the trees. Sometimes the lag is just happening anyway. Fresh Tales from Beyond the Pale is 3 short stories. How to describe them? It's they're all sort of surreal, kind of dreamlike stuff that came into my head, and I'm just making them to make them. This one is, I guess I'll talk about it. I was keeping all the story elements close to the chest because they're all pretty weird, and they all have to do with like men and women in a way, and gender roles, and it's all sort of weird, maybe kind of Freudian stuff, I guess is the best way to describe it. And so in this one, the 3rd story, it's this woman, basically, this woman leaves her house naked, nude, and we see her go about her day, and no one notices, no one is, it doesn't affect her in any way. She's not invisible, she's interacting with people, but just no one, there's no one either leering at her or gawking or clutching their pearls or anything. It's just like it's almost like it's as if she isn't nude. And then so there's this poem going on that is kind of loosely related to what we're seeing. She just, she gets into a cab, she goes to a coffee shop, she gets tea, all things that would be nice to be able to do right now. And she gets on a train, she goes on this journey, and then there's this sort of symbolic thing that happens in the end of this particular story. And they're all sort of like that. They're all just, they're very like journey-like and pretty short. I think they'll be 6 to 7, maybe 8 pages, maybe 10 pages most each. The goal is to just put this thing out myself for as cheaply as possible, and sell them for as cheaply as possible, give them away, just kind of get them out there. So that's the plan. Thinking with all this COVID vacation, I'll have time to do that. So anyway, part of what I'm doing for this comic, I did all this tiny detail. Turn on the music a little bit. You know, all this like little architectural detail, and this is based on my street. And yeah, I really got in there with all the bricks and everything. Actually, you can see in this panel. And kind of geeked out doing that. And the perfectionism complex in me would say, don't do this. This is a bad idea. I mean, that if I was being wiser, I'd say don't engage with this kind of detail work right now. But it's relaxing for me to draw all these little things. I don't even need to ink this. It's like there are time-saving methods I could do instead. But I'm going with it. I'm just doing what feels good with this particular project. And if it takes me, too long, then fuck it, who cares? So yeah, that's the project. I gotta get better at talking while drawing. I'm trying to be an engaging conversationalist and look down at my iPad. Right now I'm using perspective grid, perspective assist, so that it's kind of like cheating. It keeps all my lines nice and straight. Oh, good. Marissa's gonna buy one. That's nice. Yeah, 3 people on the stream. Well, not doing it for the views. I mean, I am, but I'm not expecting views right now. Gotta start somewhere. I also put this on my personal account, just because that's what YouTube wanted me to do. It was the easiest. I couldn't, for the life of me, really figure out how to do it with my work account, and I had to wait to set it up, and then I don't have any. I at least have subscribers on this account, so I figured that's better than nothing. Who cares? It's all, just go where there people already following you. But yeah, it's tied to my personal email, so that's why this account says Leigh Share McGrath instead of Leigh McGrath. But whatever, you're coming to see me draw in my own home, so maybe it's right that it's my full real name. I don't know. Wish I could change it. I could, but then all of my emails would say would change to Leigh mcG or whatever I changed the channel name to. It's really bad. They're not a good. They're not good. YouTube. They're annoying. They have bad user interface shit like that all over the place. But what are you gonna do? User experience, rather. UX. What do we got on the... I wonder who just joined. We got the space heater going. It's cold today. I'm cold. Is anyone else in New York and just cold? I don't know, just like the whole situation's getting to me, but I felt like frigid. I'm in here. Space heater's cranked up. I got a little eagle next to me. He's not barking anymore, thank God. Yeah, it's chilly today, right? Just chilling me in my bones today. I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was like Marissa opened the windows because I hotboxed the living room again, and then it was just freezing, and then it just never stopped being freezing. I turned up the heat. It's like probably shouldn't for the electric bill and the world and the environment, but I turned it up. I got a space heater going. I'm just taking in all the comforts. I think what's going to happen in this video is it's all going to be silent when I, looks like the perspective is wrong here. Oh well. Like a lot of this music is going to go silent when I actually upload it to YouTube. And I'll just apparently I'll just blank out probably this track because it's Gorillaz, anything that's like major label like that. Unfortunately. That or, I don't know. Hopefully we'll keep it on, but I don't know. I gotta listen to good music while I'm drawing. Can't compromise on that. So I don't think people are really gonna be watching these later. It'd be nice if they could. They can still watch it, but they just won't be able to hear anything. The DRM is too good. Marissa just asked. My wife just asked what my thoughts are on Bambi. Yeah, I'll tell you. We watched that one together. She knows. We watched that together recently. That's a strange movie. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. I love the first half of it before Bambi's mom dies. Spoiler alert. Like, that's great. But then that happens, and it's awful. But it more than it being awful, like, it's like gut wrenching and heart wrenching when it happens. Honestly, it's so upsetting. You want the best for Bambi. You love Bambi and the mom, and it's so hard for them out there. And that happens. But then just like, you remember Bambi's dad, who's like everyone's dad because he's like the big bull stag who just like every deer has gotten with, and basically is like he's the alpha stag. And that's Bambi's dad, and Bambi's dad doesn't give a shit about him through like the whole first half of the movie, and you're kind of like, well, all right, I guess that's deer culture, like, who am I to say? I mean, it'd be nice if he was around, but all right. But then he shows up after Bambi's mom dies, and he's like, you're a man, you have to be a man now, come with me. And then it fades to black, and then it like hard cuts to birds singing. It's like cheery after that, and we're plopped right into like springtime, and Bambi's full grown, and it's a terrible like aging transition in a movie. It's like one of the worst. It's like you see everyone again, and they're just like, like Bambi goes up to find Thumper again, and Thumper is like, oh, hey, Bambi, I'm a grown-up now. And Bambi's like, I'm a grown-up now, too. And it's like, where were you guys? Like, it was, like, you didn't see each other at all the whole winter? Like, just like, fade to black, and then they're grown up. Like, I don't, is that how, like, I don't know, I just didn't, it upset me storytelling-wise. See that, and it was just jarring. Like, there's a way to do that, I'm sure. It's just like it happens so quick that I don't care. And then like there was an almost rape in that movie. Like the Bambi has to save his girlfriend from another deer who's like, the implications are bad in that scene. Like, I don't. It's the other deer is like just yelling for Bambi, Bambi, Bambi. And like, and Bambi has to run to the rescue, and this other deer is like cornering Bambi's girlfriend, and like, what does he want? Like, and why? And she's yelling for, like, it's. I mean, he comes to the rescue. There's no actual, nothing happens. Thank God. She's okay. She's safe, but. Weird. I don't know. The whole that whole end of the movie. If Bambi could have just stayed a baby, or you can end it when Bambi's mom dies, and then he has to become a man. I don't know. There had to be a better way to do that movie. Maybe it was that, did that come out during wartime or something? Like, maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah. Yeah, tough stuff. But beautiful, beautiful animation. Like, stunning. Some of the best Disney animation out there. That was the whole Fantasia, Pinocchio era. That's the golden age of Disney. No women involved at all. The golden age, the 9 old men. Yeah, well, so they had female inkers back then, who would do what I'm doing right now, except to every animation cell, and that's no joke. That job, that's basically like cleaning up the work of the male animators, because how it's actually inked that's the final drawing that you're seeing on the screen. And if you screw that up, you can either alter the intent of the pose, or you can alter a facial expression, and just kind of change everything. And it's not just about doing it right; it's about doing it in the best way to make it, really expressive and beautiful. And there's a whole art to inking, especially in like the standards of Disney, and especially of that time where. The brush strokes had to be perfectly tapered at the end and consistent frame to frame. Like you couldn't have a line that was thicker on one frame and then thinner on the next, or else it would look bad. Your eye would see that. It's one of like the principles of animation that the 9 old men at Disney, which is like a whole. If you're an animation nerd, like that's a whole. There's a book by the 9 old men, the first Disney animators, and one of their tenets of good animation is line quality. It's kind of what I'm doing now, except I'm zoomed in so close that I'm just doing pretty much like thin, they're all just thin, pretty consistent line widths. I'm not really tapering anything or doing any thick strokes. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to I'm going for more of like an 80s comic book. So, but yeah, this stuff is probably boring. It's probably more interesting to see me like shape a new drawing out of nothing. But this is what I'm doing today. I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not. I decided today not to draw to entertain you. But I'll probably do that in the future. But this is also stress relief for me. So I'm drawing all these little bricks, and it feels good. Oh, I don't have a lot of favorite comics, Marissa. I don't actually read a lot of comics. That's the funny thing. I want to make them. I think it's a good storytelling medium for what I want to do. But to be honest, a lot of comics, a little too visually dense for me to want to read. My eyes kind of flick around all over the place on a page if there's too much information. It's funny because a lot of the art that I do is just packed with elements and information. Yeah, I don't know. I don't read a lot of comics. I don't read a lot in general, which is embarrassing. But, I guess comic strips are like. I'd say Bill Watterson, Calvin and Hobbes is pretty. A lot of our generation says that for good reason. Excellent comic artist. What I liked that he did was he took the Sunday comic strip formula, and there were a lot of restrictions at the time when comic strips were still a big part of our culture, and so the Sunday comics, they could be in color. That remember the Sunday Funnies? Those were the ones that were in color, right? And they were bigger, but you had to design your comic strip so that every panel could be cut up by the layout editor at whatever newspaper it's at, You know, and in Cincinnati, maybe they want the Peanuts to go vertical over here, and then have Heathcliff over here horizontal. But in Boston, they want to have, you know, Heathcliff is on the back page vertical, and Peanuts is horizontal, and whatever. Bill Watterson, Calvin and Hobbes became so popular and was on the front page of every comic Sunday Funnies in every newspaper that it was a high demand. So he basically was able to, like, pardon my French, but swang his big dick around and say, I want to do the Sunday Funnies this way, or you can just drop my strip. So he took up a whole like the half of the Sunday Funnies page in the front, which is usually the layout. Like, he was getting that layout spot anyway. But he was basically saying, you can't put my comic in any other place in your newspaper without it taking up half your page because of the way I'm going to lay out the panels. So he would do panels where, like, you couldn't cut it up and lay it out any differently. There'd be, like, you know, Calvin has a T-Rex in a flying a jet in one panel that takes up, like, the lower half of the whole page, and then that would intersect with another panel where he's bombing the school or whatever, which was a lighthearted topic back then. You couldn't really make a comic about a little boy attacking their school, so they wouldn't have to go today, and it wouldn't be as funny. But it was funny then. But yeah, he not only that, but the way he would ink. You know, talking about line width, he used a lot of, like, he really let you see his brush strokes in a way that were, like, it showed his, like, command of the tool. You know, like they were expressive, but also, like, you know, if you use your line weight the right way, you can imply shadow and depth just with the outlines on your characters, and he really did that kind of stuff. And almost painterly quality of the way he would ink. And also his character designs were just so rock solid. You know, like Calvin has, like, a specific number of spikes on his hair, and yet it doesn't look too rigid. You know, there's a formula for drawing him, and yet he doesn't look like, you know, it's the same. You know, like, Peanuts is amazing. Peanuts is a great comic. Charles Schultz is great, but you know, there's a lot of the drawings they could have been copied and pasted, sort of. I mean, not really. Once they started basically doing that once other people started making the strip for him, sadly. But you know, he would draw each of them, and each one would be slightly different. But a lot of comic strips, you know, became just use the same drawing for each strip. So you know, and you could literally just copy and paste after a while, especially once computers came by. But then around the same time, strips started to die out. I mean, there was that short overlap between the modern communication age. My chats are coming up on here, and that's not good. People are asking how we're doing. I want to not be disturbed, I thought. I just turn off Wi-Fi. There. Anyway. They're telling, I think we're about to find out whether we're back to work. So, that's fun. If you must know what that text exchange was about. But, it's a good thing I turned that off, because that is not for you to know whether we're back to work or not. So we work on a television show that a lot of people watch. Where was I? How's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? Still got 4 viewers. 4 of you. I think it's still Mark, Marissa, Ben, and then Mysterious Fourth. Might be me. I don't know. Hi, Melissa. little sloppy. That's what I call it, sloppy. It's alright. The digital equivalent of stepping back from your work is zoom out a lot. You gotta zoom out. Look at the big picture, literally. So much detail. I have this idea that I'm going to actually ink these panels 4 different times. I don't know why I would do that to myself, but I probably won't. I just, it would make it look more dynamic. Those slight differences that you get each time you ink it. That's just something I used to notice in comics. I could tell if they copied and pasted the panel. And, yeah, like Charles Schultz never did that. I mean, you couldn't back then, but even in the 90s when you could. Well, those panels were, he would redraw the background. He wouldn't, of course, those backgrounds were a lot simpler. This one's really complicated. Which is by design. I kind of want the environments in this particular piece to be a character on their own. This is based on my block, and I think the city's going to wind up being New York, but I'm not explicitly trying to make it New York, you know? Like that. I'd love that to be open-ended. But I don't know this city better than any other, so it may just sort of happen that way. I'll take a little, have some coffee. I got my coffee here in front of me. Who said no? What are you saying no to? The drawing each frame every? Is that what you're saying no to? No, it's probably not a good idea to do that. But that's what I'm tempted to do. That's what my perfectionism complex wants me to do. Because then I get to just move slowly, and then I don't have to. The hard part of all this, of drawing psychologically, is doing a new drawing. Because like while you're doing a new drawing, you're like, this sucks, like the whole time. Like you're in your own head, like, no, this isn't any good. This isn't good. It's bad. And then like you have to get through that part where you're like, oh, this isn't good, but oh well. And then like eventually you hit a threshold where you think it's good, but it's just emotionally harder to do. So inking it's safer. I can just do it. If I can just stay in inking land and stay inking all these little bricks and just stay on autopilot, it's a good endorphin rush. So yeah, that's why I want to ink it 4 times. I like that the stream has turned into me talking to my wife in the basement while I'm up here in the studio. The one person I can talk to the most. That's who I'm connecting with over the stream. Yeah, same thing with music. Yeah, you want to tinker. You want to tinker on the music and not write a new song, which is fucking hard to do. By the way, Ben, I still have to listen to your the songs that you send me. I have no good excuse. I'm just a bad friend. But I'm sorry. I will soon. All right. Should I draw something new? Do you guys want to see me draw something new? Do the challenging bit, or is it Are you fine with watching me just do these things, these bricks here? I kind of just want to draw the bricks. Uh-oh. Work from home. Everybody get that work from home. Yeah, I am gonna do what I feel. I'm gonna keep drawing. I'm hungry though. It's a good question, Mark. It's a really nice, insightful question. I became an artist. What inspired me to become an artist was it was sort of hardwired from the beginning. My dad was a graphic designer and illustrator. He really liked Sunday comics. I think it was his dream to get a comic nationally syndicated in the newspaper. He pitched a few of them in his time. And he was just, he was an artist himself, just full on in every sense of the word. That's who he was. So, to me, being an artist is, more about sort of a need or willingness to create, and sort of living by that as your sort of central. Like, I don't have any other. I feel like I don't have any other choice. Like, I am an artist, and I think that's, there's a lot that goes with that. I'll say, so my father was a main, he sort of led me down that path, but then I had other family influences. My great aunt, Becky Young, who lives in Philadelphia. I'm a bit worried about her right now because she's definitely over 70. She was the first photography professor at University of Philadelphia, and she started that program there. But she's an amazing painter and does this really amazing multimedia work that just kind of blew me away. I spent a weekend with her when I was 9 years old at her apartment in Philadelphia, and I think she really opened my eyes to, like, a different kind of thinking about art. For the first time, that's who did that. Like, sort of a spiritual way of thinking about it, and how it, really taps into something internal. I like, for my father, it was all a little more surface level. Wanting, the dream of accomplishing art. It was sort of more what it was about with him, and he definitely had his weird cerebral ideas, and all came from internal places. But I think I was able to talk to my great aunt, and she was a mentor for my dad too. So I think he, I believe he talked about that kind of stuff with her as well. So yeah, both of them are huge influences, and then I just sort of found other artists along the way that I've been inspired by. I mean, honestly, like, just reading Sunday comics and stuff was a huge inspiration. I would find, like, and some of the first stuff I ever drew was just ripping off other things that I had seen that my dad either had in the house or or from the comics. Like, I would draw characters that looked like Calvin, or I would copy. And I was really, really young. I was like 6 or 5. I've been drawing since I can remember, and I was drawing in a way where I took it seriously. Basically, my whole life was always like, I'm drawing, I'm making a thing, I'm drawing. As much as a child can, it was always a project. It's only gotten more like that. Like, it's hard for me to draw just for the sake of it, so I try to push myself just to do that. And if I can be productive at the same time, great. But yeah, I would either trying to undo here. I would either draw things. There we go. Jesus, that's annoying. That was a glitch. I would either copy stuff that other artists have drawn, or I would find images in other things a lot. This is something It doesn't come out as much anymore, but I would like, for instance, like see stuff in popcorn ceilings, or I'd see like I would see, just like see either faces or characters like in patterns of things, and that just I just like wanted to see that as a drawing a lot of the time, so I would draw it like. This is a dumb one, but there's like bricks right here. You know, I don't know if anyone's ever looked at bricks this way, but I could never look at a set of bricks without seeing this face, and you'll see it in a second. But like, there was always a dog in a set of bricks to me. Like, here's here's just the four or the for 6 bricks that would make this pattern, right? Um, and I basically see a face here, like two like eyes here, and like simple, but like I just that this was always a dog to me, and I think I mean other people have that kind of thing, right? Um, yeah, wood grain, Ben, like so. I just I don't know that always like I just wanted to see that stuff, and I've just I don't know I was apt at drawing. I think I don't as far as the whole nature nurture thing. I don't know. I was always encouraged, so I think that's it. I don't think I believe in a natural. Completely different experience. That's like, I mean, it's foreign to me. Like, I don't feel as comfortable painting. I don't feel like it's like my realm. This is something I've always felt, sort of trained in. My dad like showed me how to use these tools, and so I feel like qualified to do it. Even though I am able to paint. There's not I don't know as much about the materials or the theory, and I always figure it out, or just ignore any of that because you don't need that stuff to paint. But you know, it's easier to get in your own head about. But so with that painting that I did there, I mean, it was like got into like such a trance state. I was painting like in the middle of the night, you know, after everyone had gone to sleep, and in my parents' basement. But it was my dad's. My dad kind of built a studio in there, and his last this is one of the last things he did. He's like set up my mom's house. And he set up that little area for himself, and he never really used it. I used it actually, so. But he was very particular about where everything went, and you know, that everything kind of had to be just so. He just got super OCD about it, and it was like he knew he was being that way, which is not exactly characteristic of him, but that's just one of the. Clearly, I think it's just something that you need to have control over. So I was, I was all for it, but sometimes it wasn't rational. I mean, he would forget. He would just get, he'd get upset about things being moved that it's like wasn't. I didn't think it was a big deal, but it is a big deal, and that's kind of all you got. So. I didn't trace anything for these backdrops, I just want to say. I drew all this, but I drew it with reference. It's kind of stitched together pieces of buildings near us on our street. Some of these really nice, like, brownstones and stuff. But I want to give it kind of a 60s New York vibe. That's eventually the goal of this one. I wish I could have figured out the audio, guys. Right now the music you're hearing is coming in straight from, it's coming out of my speakers, which are luckily pretty good, but you're probably hearing a lot of bass more than anything. They're coming out of my speakers and back into this microphone here. This microphone. Oh, here, that's right, I covered it up behind this, no, you can't even see it. Anyway. There's no undo in this book. Yeah, anyway. Oh, I wonder if it, I wonder. Never mind. Oh, Ben's leaving. See ya, Ben. I think he's gone. Oh, Benjamin. Very old friend. Someone I've made music with many times. Continue to make music with. Whenever we find the opportunity and the will at the same time. I think Marissa's downstairs working on her music video, I think. Music video for me for a song that I made. First, she was asking for input on this music video since I was the one who made the song. And then I gave her my input and she said, actually, no, shut up, please. You're ruining it. And I was like, alright, it's your vision. You do it. It wasn't that easy. At first I was like, what the hell? I want to do it. And then I want to do everything. And then I just backed off. Because, yeah, it is her. It's more for her. I don't need to weigh in another project. I just let her rip, and her ideas are usually better than I could guide her on anyway. Her video art is very cool. Anyone hasn't inking without... He's not using values here, so what am I going to do? I hadn't planned on using color. I want to ink this as if there won't be any color, so... I'm going to figure out a way to fill this in that doesn't look... it gets the shininess of this pot, but doesn't look too ugly. On my Instagram. Okay. Somebody liked my photo. Oh. No. No. More Boards of Canada. We're watching an episode of High Fidelity starring Zoe Kravitz on Hulu. Pretty fine show. Pretty fine. Almost got to work on that show, but there's a conflicting schedule. I'm kind of glad I didn't, so I get to just enjoy it for what it is. It's pretty good. A lot like the old movie, but gender swapped, which I think makes just more sense in today's... I wouldn't want to watch a show about a man going through the dating things that she is going through in the love, in the personal, you know, strife, kind of self-worth stuff, and trying to find a partner and love and all that. I don't know. More interesting with a woman, I think. Today's world. We've seen hopeless guys so many times in television and cinema. So anyway, it's a good show. What did I bring it up for? I go on a lot of tangents. Sorry, I brought it up because on the show she's making a playlist, and one of her rules, she speaks to the camera a lot. She says that you can't use the same artist twice, because unless it's like a theme. I think in this playlist it's sort of a theme. It's just there's Boards of Canada tracks just kind of throughout, and I like that about it. I was listening to a lot of Boards of Canada at the time, and I don't know. It's sort of, they all have that sound that sort of marries it all together. It's like a gel, a joint fiber between songs. I don't know. I like it. It's a slow, trippy playlist. It's my favorite kind, because I just like to be mellow. When I'm listening to music most of the time, I like to be mellow. I don't want it to be too active. Unless I want it to be active. Then it's a very different kind of music. I think I might want something active after this. I don't know. What can I put on? Might just do my standard playlist. Oh. This thing freezes up sometimes. Thanks, Mark. Oh, it's hard to type. You asked some really good questions. You did. If you're still there, Mark, you asked some really good questions. Thank you for that. So many bricks over here. Right, I might draw this window once. I did that when I was sketching, and I might do that now. Bit of support from Mark.
his MO. He's a supportive and cool guy. Very positive energy from that fellow. What time is it? I think I'll end this one at 4. Good 2-hour stream. Oh, my dog is snoring next to me.
All right. Yeah, that's a good. That's the illegal artist would catch on. It's like it's kind of like a. Yeah, that should be my name on here. Follow the illegal artist. Legal artist makes more art illegally again. Yeah, it's like Banksy. It's like Banksy. That'd catch on. It'd be the next Banksy, the illegal artist on YouTube. Follow, like, share, subscribe. Uh-oh, playlist is over. Affix one? Oh, too bummer. I need to pick me up. I said I might end at 4. But still got 3 viewers. Got a playlist called True Jock Jams that I made before Joker came out, and it's got Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll Part 2. Queen. It was also before the Queen movie came out, and it's got Queen on there. It's just all the jock jams, like the big jock jams. I don't know why I made it, but I'm definitely not going to play it right now. Spotify doesn't seem to have IDM like in its own category to be able to find, and there aren't a lot of playlists in that world that are any good that I've found. Yeah, chill IDM doesn't exist. Doesn't bring anything up. Intelligent dance music, aka brain dance. I like how it sounds. I don't like what it's called. Yeah, this is what I want. Music is math. Or geometry. Ooh. This is what I like. Okay. I'm gonna end at 4. I need a break. I'm not drawing anymore. Wait, why did I unplug that? Let's just go for 3 more minutes to make it to 4. But nah. Alright, everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me during your time alone at your house, whatever. Yeah, this is good. I'm gonna do it again another time. I don't know when. So enjoy that then, and peace out.